Hey guys, welcome to my first YouTube video. I have been very scared to start this just because I feel like I'm gonna get so many negative feedback about it, but I don't care. It's what I want to do. So today I am going to show you guys my everyday makeup routine. I wouldn't say this is every day. I don't wear makeup every single day, but this is usually my go-to makeup routine. This is what I pretty much do every single time I do my makeup. If you see me wearing makeup, this is mostly what I am wearing and what I do. But yeah. So I'm also going to be covering some questions in here that I get all the time. These are just certain things that I get from like family members, friends, just questions that they have about makeup that maybe some of you guys don't know. But I hope I can answer some questions in here for you guys. But yeah, so this is my every single day makeup routine. It's pretty simple. It's nothing crazy. I don't know. I don't like to go like totally crazy, but I also like to do pretty full glam looks anytime I do makeup. And you know, if I'm going to take the time to do it, I might as well just put a whole thing on. So if you guys are interested in watching this, then please keep on watching. Okay, so the first thing that I start off with every single day in the morning and night is my skincare routine. So I just cleanse my skin, and then I put on the I want to say it's the Up and Up brand from Target. It's their acne clearing toner. So I do that twice a day, and then I go in with the U.F.O acne treatment face oil from Sunday Riley. Excuse my nails. So I did just put that on. I do 3 drops. I do 1 on my forehead and then 2 like on my cheeks, and I blend it, and then I go in with my moisturizer, and I've just been using the Aveeno Clear Complexion Daily Moisturizer, and I just do about like a pump on my skin, and I just blend that all in. Usually I like to use like a gel moisturizer because I have really oily skin, and I feel like sometimes lotions can be like super thick on my skin and a little too heavy, but I actually really like this one because it's really lightweight and it doesn't break me out. It doesn't make me like extra oily throughout the day. So I just put that all over. It does get a little like tacky, so I know that it's kind of like soaking into my skin a little bit. Okay, so the first thing that I do for makeup is I apply a primer, and I've been using the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. It looks like full size. I know they have like a smaller size that they sell at Sephora. I don't think they sell this at Ulta. I got mine at Sephora, but you can order it online and whatnot. I don't remember how much I paid for it, so I can't really tell you that, but I can put that in the bar once I figure that out. So I put about like a pea-sized amount on my fingers, and I apply this to my cheeks and my nose, and then I kind of just disperse it to the rest of my face. But I focus on the areas that I tend to get a little bit more oily, and the areas that tend to come off a little bit easier, and the areas that my foundation like wears off. So that's more like my chin, my nose, and my cheeks. And I wear glasses, so I always try to focus on this area too, because my glasses always tend to rub off my makeup in that area. So I always focus on those areas. After that, I go in with foundation, and recently I've just been using the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless foundation, and this is in shade 105 Fair Ivory. Didn't think this is gonna focus. So I just used this one, and I just start with pouring a little bit on the back of my hand. I know this looks like really excessive, but it's not that bad. And then I go in with my sponge. This is just the Real Technique sponge, I believe. And I just dab it, and then I start and go into the rest of my skin. And try not to use like pulling motions, because that will literally take your makeup right off. But I just apply this all over my skin. And what I really like about this foundation is that it's full coverage and it lasts literally all day, and it keeps me from getting like super oily. This looks like really light, but I promise I am that white. But I promise it's not. So then the next thing I go in is I set my makeup, and I've been using the Maybelline Loose Finishing Powder, and this one's in 05 Fair. Now that I really think about it, all my products are really light, and I'm really pale. I tried self-tanning the other day, and the only thing that it really wanted to self-tan was my knuckles, so trying to it just did not want to set on the rest of my body, and I kept it on for like 2 hours, and it just didn't want to do anything. Okay, so what I do is I just put some into the cap, and I just start kind of putting it just literally all over my skin. And like I said, I focus a lot more on the areas that I know are going to rub off, so I try and bake it a little bit more. Is setting. I usually go in with my eyebrows. I absolutely hate doing my eyebrows. It is the one thing that I absolutely hate doing, but they gotta be done because these things look really scary. And I've been using the Precisely My Brow pencil from Benefit. This is the one that I've used for so many years, and it's the only one that seems to match my hair color the best. And I've been using the shade 2. I did buy a new one, and this one I bought a little while ago, but I bought 2.5 Neutral Blonde. I'm pretty sure they just started doing the like half sizes or the 0.5 sizes now, or the, not even sizes, but like, you guys know what I mean, like the 0.5s and stuff like that, for different tones. But I usually always use 2 because that was closest to my natural hair color. Okay. So the next thing I do is I go in and I bronze. So I've been using actually 2 different things. One of myself, so I use 2 different things. So I've been using this Park Ave Princess palette from Tarte. I bought this a while ago. I don't exactly remember, but it comes with 4 different bronzers and then 2 like highlighting slash like light powders, I guess. But I've been using this to contour, and then what I've been using to bronze is just the Hoola bronzer by Benefit. Looks like this. This is a classic that I feel like everybody uses. I've already hit pan on it multiple times. I don't know how many times I've repurchased this, but I have. So I take this big fluffy brush. This is from Morphe. This is the M400 brush, and I just dip my thing into it, and I start to bronze, and I kind of focus, whoa, going a little crazy. I tend to focus more on the like outsides of my face because, like I just showed you guys before, I am very pale, so I tend to white out very easily. So I tend to try and warm myself up more. Bronze up the rest of my face. I do it under my chin and I bring it down my neck. And just blend that out. Okay, and I'm gonna go in with that Park Ave Princess palette. And usually I mix 2 colors just because I like the way that they look. So I mix these 2, this one and this one. And the one is called Princess Cut and the other one is called Angle. And I just take another Morphe brush. This is the M105. It's more of like a smaller brush. And I just mix those 2. And I know you do like a fishy face, but I always go like to kind of contour that out, because if it's not, you're gonna look like you got punched in the face. And trust me, I've had my fair share of days where I've done that, and it is not fun. So I'm just gonna go back kind of over where I already did, but just kind of blending it a little bit more and just kind of blending that out. Okay, then I go in with this brush. This is the Morphe M460 brush. It looks really funny, but this is what I use to contour my nose with. So I go like that, and I dip into those same two colors that I did to contour with, and I focus this right on my nose, like so. And I always tap off before I put it on my nose, because if you don't, then it's gonna look really bad. So, okay, it's gonna look really dramatic, I know, but it's gonna get blended out. So I start by pressing this onto my nose, and then I go in with the same brush that I used to contour before, and I just blend that out. And trust me, I have to contour my nose, because if I don't, I literally have a wide and big ass nose. Okay, so then what I do is I go back in with my powder, because I like to like really cut out my nose, because I'm a freak like that. So what I do is I go with like the flat side, and I pour my powder into my thing again, and I cut out my nose. So I start by like going up the sides like this, and just kind of cutting that out. And just doing that. And then I put some down the middle. And I kind of let that sit for a second. And while I let that sit, I actually go in with my blush. And I have been using the BH Cosmetics Blushing in Bali palette. I got this one from Ulta. I don't know if they still have it there. It was back in like I want to say around fall time. I was still pregnant around that time, so I'm not really sure exactly when I got it. But these palettes are great because they actually last for 2 years, and not a lot of cosmetic palettes or any type of makeup usually last that long. Usually they're between like 6 to 12 months, and then you usually want to throw them out because they do expire. But I've noticed that BH products actually last a little bit longer, so I always tend to get a lot of these palettes, and it just makes it easier, so I'm not constantly purchasing things 24/7. So I've just been using this palette, and I go in with one of these brushes. It's not as dense, it's a little bit more fluffier, so it puts on the color, but it doesn't like pack on the color, so it's not as like vibrant. I got this brush, I want to say, from CVS in like a really cheap little tiny set. But anyway, so I'm going to go in with these two right here, these two light colors. I actually mix them just because the middle one's just a tad too dark, and then the first one's just a tad too light. So I like to blend them, and then it gives me like the perfect blush color. So I just blend that in, and I do that on both sides. Like so. I put a little bit on my chin just because I like to add color, and then I also do a little bit on my forehead because I like to literally add color wherever I need color. Okay, so I actually use the same palette for my highlighter, and I go in with a different brush if I can find it. So this is actually the brush from the same collection that I got this one from CVS. It came with like 4 different ones. One of them I used for when I had eyelash extensions. I used it to wash my eyelashes. That's specifically why I bought the pack, but obviously I wanted to use these ones too. So I use this one for highlighter, and then obviously this one for blush. So I go in with, if you guys haven't been able to see, I really have been toned. So I kind of sometimes mix them. I don't know, I just kind of go like, I don't know. I'm like really bad at making videos. I'm really awkward, so I'm sorry if I'm like not knowing what I'm talking about. I'm trying to do good here. But okay, so I just highlight to the gods and just highlight. I usually put it on the top of my cheekbones. I put it up above my brow. I put it a little tiny bit under my eyebrow. And then I focus this on the tip of my nose, like so. And then I do just a tiny bit on the bridge of my nose. And that's just going to kind of bring the light to certain parts of my face, so that you look like you have more snatch nose, I guess. Okay, so then I'm going to go in with this big fluffy brush again, and I'm just going to blend away that powder, that excess powder. See how it kind of like slims out your nose? Maybe not, I don't know. To me it looks like it could slim. Maybe I'm just crazy, but and I just kind of go over that just a tiny bit more, just so that it's a little bit more amplified. Okay, so next is my eyes. Usually I'm not huge into eyeshadow. I do it when I do get ready, like a full glam. If I'm literally doing like the basic of the basics, like I don't do any of this. I literally just put a little bit of powder on, a little bit of mascara, and I'm out the door. But this is like what I like to do if I actually am doing a pretty glam look. So yeah, so what I usually do is I go in with the, sorry, it's in like my little vanity thing. I go in with the Jaclyn Hill palette. Now, I have been asked to show you guys how to kind of blend colors together, because some people, I guess, don't know how to properly like blend, I guess. So I'm going to show you guys that look today. So this is usually what I like to do. These are the colors that I usually go to. I'm not someone that likes to do like the really dark looks, like the black smoky eye look. I don't really like because my eyes are like really brown, so I tend to go for the more like golden tones. Usually if you have like blue eyes, gray eyes, things like that, you want to go towards the more the grays and the blacks. I have brown eyes, like I said, so I go towards the more golden looks. Those are what look good with my complexion, with my hair. Those are just what I prefer. So what I do is I start off with a more flat shader brush. It looks something like this. This is the Morphe M209 brush. I just get one of these and I go in with more a nude, like a matte color, just to kind of set your eyelid. So I go in with this palette. I don't know if I can turn it right. Can you guys see it? Okay. So I go in with this color right here and I just press this all over my lid, like so. And I just kind of set my eyelid so that you have more of like a base, like a really matte base to work with. Okay, so then I'm gonna go in with my crease. Now I start off with a pretty like fluffy brush, and this is the kind of brush that you, there it is. This is the kind of brush you want to use to put in your transition shades. So this is the Morphe M200, looks something like that. And you always, anytime you're building on color, anytime you're transitioning colors, you always want to have a transition color. Usually it's something that's in between the colors that you're using. So I just used a very matte color, and now I'm going to go in with kind of a little bit darker of a color, not as dark as the color that you're going to actually put in your crease. So I'm going to go in with this next one right here. This is the color Silk Cream. And I'm going to just tap that off, and I'm just going to start doing it in like circular motions, and I'm just going to blend this into my crease. And you also want to make sure that you're using like a very fluffy brush, because the more dense your brush is, the more product you're gonna pick up and the more dark it's gonna be, like that. Okay, so the next thing I do is I actually use the same brush, but I go a little bit darker with my color. So usually, it depends on what I like to do, but I usually go in with this color right here. It's the one that's like, so this is the one I just used, and then it's like right there. So it's a little bit darker. I want to say that one's called Pukey. I know it sounds really gross, but it is like a pukey color, I guess. So this one, I'm just going to do the same thing. I just do windshield kind of like wiper motions, but also kind of like, I don't know, just twirl it into your eyelid, I guess. And then just do the same on the other eye. And just blend, 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 like that. Okay. So then the next thing I do is I actually go in with a more dense brush, and this is the Morphe M330 brush, like something like this. So I kind of want to just show you guys like in comparison, like the difference between them. So this one's like just really long and like fluffy. This one's just a little bit more smaller and more dense. It has more bristles in it. So this one's really good for packing on the color. So this is when I'm going to go in with a more darker tone shade. So this is the color I'm going to go in with. This is the color Mocha. And I'm just going to take this. And you guys are going to see how much like this brush like packs on the color. And you're just going to focus this color more on like the outside. And then just blend it into your eye. And just go back and forth. Color into it. And just make sure it's as dark as you want it. Like I said, I don't do super, super dark eyes, so I don't tend to go in with really, really dark eyeshadow. But we're just gonna... Sorry, baby's crying. Okay, what I do is I go back in with my transition shade, and I go back into that first color that we ever used, and you're gonna run this right over the outsides of your eyes, like the outside of the crease, wherever your harsh lines are. And you're just going to take that transition shade and you're just going to blend that out. So that's usually what I do for my eyeshadow. I don't tend to do it like a whole ton. And then usually what I do is I like to have my highlights match everything. So I take the same highlighter that I put in my crease and I put that right on my eyelid just to give it that little burst of like highlight, that little burst of shimmer, and just blend that in. And then I'm gonna go in with that same brush that I used to blend everything out and blend and blend. I promise I'm not letting my baby cry. Jesse is supposed to be taking care of him, but sometimes he can't get him to stop crying. Right. So the next thing I do is I apply lashes. I usually have lash extensions, but because we are in quarantine, I can't get my lashes done, so I had let them all fall out. So this is what my lashes look like right now. Very bad. Okay, so the first thing I do is I'm gonna curl my lashes, and I'm just going to apply a very thin layer of mascara. Just so that your eyelashes are curled up and are able to be seen before I put on my lashes. So I'm just going to put that on. I absolutely love this mascara. This is the L'Oreal Telescopic. Yep, in Carbon Black. This one's a really oldie but goodie. I've been using this for so many years. Like, I always repurchase this one. If I don't have it, then I usually don't put it on. To be completely honest, I only really like to wear certain mascaras, and if I usually don't have one, I usually just put on lashes and I don't put on mascara at all. For my lashes, these are the lashes that I have been using. These are the Ardell Double Up Wispies. These are out of the case. I've already worn them a couple times, so that's why they're not in the case that they came in, but they look something like these. They're just the Double Up Wispies. I love Ardell products. I feel like they're the only lashes that seem to stay on for me. I've always been having, I don't know, I always have issues with eyelashes wanting to stick, so these are the only ones that have been actually like working for me. So usually while I wait for my eyelashes to dry up a little bit and get a little tacky, I usually do my lips. So I usually do like nude lips. So I start off with a lip liner, and I know a lot of people always ask me, how come you outline your lips? I have really big lips in general, but I do like to make them just a little bit more seen. So I start off with my favorite lip liner. This is the Pout Perfection Waterproof Lip Liner in the color. This is from Laura Gellar, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Laura Gellar. And I just outline my lips just a tiny bit. Just more so for my top lip, just because I have like a really big bottom lip, but I feel like my top lip isn't as like profound as my bottom lip, and just a tiny bit more. And then I just kind of fill in the rest of my lips a little bit. Okay. And then I actually go in with a lip plumper. Like I said, I know I have big lips, but if you have them, embrace them. So I usually put on a lip plumper. This is the Too Faced Lip Injection Extreme. This is the instant and long-term lip plumper. The one thing that I do have to say about this is do not put it on anything but your lips. The point of lip pumpers is to kind of get the blood flowing straight to that area. So if you get it on anything but your lips, it will make your skin irritated. It will probably make your skin very red because it's making the blood flow go to that certain area. So just be super cautious with these. And then I go in with the N.Y.X Butter Gloss in the color Creme Brûlée. And then I just put that right over that. I'm not someone that does really like crazy lip colors. I just do like nudes. I'm not really big into wearing like lipsticks and stuff like that, but okay. So once my eyelashes get a tiny bit tacky, I want to go in and apply them. So usually I apply them first by putting them on the center of my eyelid or my eyelashes. All right, and once you get your eyelashes on, I usually go in and do my bottom lashes just a tiny bit, just because I don't like to make them look like crazy. Okay, so then I just go in and I set my face with the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist, and I just like that. So that is my everyday get ready with me routine. I hope I answered some of your guys' questions, whether it is how to blend your eyeshadow, put your foundation on. I hope I answered all those questions for you. But yeah,